What's your perspective on some of those franchisors that are exploding really fast where they haven't really quite had the proof of concept yet, which is tricky because a lot of people are buying a franchise typically because there's a blueprint, but they're selling faster than the concept can be proven, especially in different markets. So what's your perspective on that? My intention with this podcast is to help you build your empire. If you've gotten a single piece of value, one of the best ways you can help me and the podcast is to simply press the like button on YouTube. Lastly, share this podcast. Share it with someone who you know who is an empire builder. Imagine the impact you can have by helping them learn something that can build their business and empire. People will associate the value they got from this information from you, the person that shared it with them, all because you shared it with them. I appreciate you and your support. Let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, that's an important topic, and one that I have certain pet peeves. So it it all depends on quality, right? Like anything else, you have high quality FSOs that when they onboard a brand, they're focused on, do we believe this leadership team has the right capital to also support? And then there's others that are just focused on the quick sale. Now, in a minute, I'll share too. Anyone listening, the biggest thing that concerns me when I see these new brands, I could share as an experience. One of our clients, amazing founders who did season their franchise offering. And over a 5-year period, looked like a slow growth company and maybe just had 10 franchises at a certain point, but performing well, built up, and then worked with a high profile FSO. And in my opinion, it's what works in franchising. They've scaled, they've grown at a big level, and it's worked, right? But what no one sees behind the scenes is they were franchised for 6 years and they were building that platform and they built the validation. Now, what you're bringing up is something that bothers me, which is we'll see new brands come online. And again, I'm not being critical, I'm just being cautionary, which is so for franchise buyers out there, where I would be worried is, look, I'm a big believer in emerging brands. I believe in entrepreneurship. I believe the right emerging brand startups can transform your life in a big way, right? And I may be biased, those are our clients, but I see the meetings, I see the conversations, these people care, and just amazing brand builders. So, but what you do need to be careful is when you have a new franchisor, let's say in a service-based industry, and they have really good numbers. Well, to your point, you have to take a step back and say, this is only one corporate location. Does this extrapolate to me as a franchisee? Or this is one corporate location in a really big territory, and there's a lot of economies of scale and efficiencies there in terms of marketing dollars, in terms of cost factors. So does that extrapolate? And then how are they presenting their item 19? And are they doing it in a genuine way? If you're just saying, here's our gross sales numbers, divide it by number of trucks, and that's what you should expect, let's just be cautious there, right? So I think there's tremendous opportunities. I think there's amazing FSOs and amazing brands that scale through them. But on the other end of the platform, you need to be careful with certain item 19s and whether or not you could extrapolate data and those sales practices. I mean, I see good FSOs where they're like, we love the concept, but we're not so confident in the ability to support, right? So there's a lot of variation, but I share with you concern about, because I do think you could find a new franchise, and one of our clients I'm thinking about that scaled with an FSO, where at 10 locations was probably one of the best opportunities in the country, right? Something I'd recommend to a family member and have. So there's those great opportunities there. It's just you have to filter them out.
If you enjoyed this short clip from the podcast, you can check out another short clip right here. Or if you want to watch the full episode of this podcast, you can watch that here. And remember, knowledge is not power. It's applied knowledge that's power. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.